All right, let's dig into something we all struggle with. Why is it so incredibly hard to just stay consistent with our goals? We're going to explore a really powerful idea that suggests maybe, just maybe, we've been using the wrong kind of fuel this whole time. You know this feeling, right? You start a new project, a new workout plan, whatever it is, and you are on fire. You're unstoppable for about a week. And then, poof, it's gone. That spark just fizzles out, and suddenly that couch looks way more inviting. So what's the deal? Why does that initial drive just disappear?
Well, here it is. This is the core of the problem, right here on the screen. The whole reason our big plans fall apart is because we're banking on motivation. And as we're about to see, motivation is, by its very nature, temporary. We're trying to build something permanent on a foundation that's guaranteed to crumble.
So, first things first, let's really get our heads around this motivation problem. We need to take a good hard look at what motivation actually is and why leaning on it for anything long-term is kind of like trying to build a house in the middle of an earthquake.
Okay, this is so important. Motivation isn't some skill you can practice or a resource you can just stock up on. It's an emotion. And think about it, just like any other emotion, whether it's happiness or anger or sadness, it comes and it goes. You can't force it to stick around. It's a flash of lightning, not a power plant.
And here's what that looks like in real life, right? Motivation means you have to feel ready to do something, so you're always just waiting around for the mood to strike. And yeah, it shows up in these awesome, unpredictable bursts, but it vanishes the second things get a little tough, or honestly, even just a little bit boring. It's an outside push, not a reliable engine you can count on.
Okay, so if motivation is this totally unreliable spark, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to its complete opposite. Discipline. And this isn't about waiting for a feeling at all. It's about building a machine.
And this definition just nails it. Notice something? It says absolutely nothing about how you feel. Discipline is a system. It's a choice. It's the structure you build that works whether you're feeling pumped up or you'd rather do anything else but the thing you're supposed to do.
I mean, this contrast really says it all, doesn't it? Motivation is just a series of disconnected events. You feel great one day, you get a lot done, and then nothing for a while. It's totally emotional and unreliable. But discipline? That's a system. It's a habit. It's permanent. It's the bridge you build brick by brick that gets you where you want to go, rain or shine. It's the difference between hoping for a sunny day and just building a roof.
So, this is the big question, right? How do we actually make that shift? How do we stop waiting to feel like it and start building that system? Well, this is where we get into the nuts and bolts of how you actually become unstoppable.
It's a pretty simple path, really. First, you just choose a system. And I mean something specific, not a vague goal. A system is, I'm going to put my running shoes by the door before I go to bed. Or I'm going to write one paragraph before I check my phone. Then comes the hardest part. You just do it, no matter what, especially when you don't want to. That simple action, repeated over and over, is what builds momentum. And that momentum eventually becomes a force of nature. That's when you're unstoppable.
And that right there, that's the ultimate promise. See, this isn't just about ticking more boxes off your to-do list. It's about fundamentally changing who you are. It's about becoming someone who isn't a prisoner of their own moods. You're just running on a completely different and way more reliable type of fuel.
So, let's wrap this all up. What's the one thing to take away from all this? It's a total shift in where you put your focus, away from how you're feeling and onto what you're building. Let's be crystal clear about this. If your goal is to feel motivated, you're going to be waiting a long, long time. Stop chasing that feeling. It's a trap. It's not the goal.
This is the goal. The real goal is to be the person who builds the system, the person who takes the action, the person who shows up, especially when it's hard. That's discipline. And that, right there, is the key to pretty much everything.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget trying to get motivated. Just forget that word for a minute. Instead, ask yourself this. What is one tiny, simple system you can build right now? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because that's the starting line. That's where your own unstoppable force begins.